Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Coop to Grill. It is, oh my God, 30, but it's going to be worth it. Let's check out what we got in the cooler today. Ooh, that is one prime piece of meat. That's right, we got a brisket. So we're going to do the first thing. It's 5 o'clock a.m. That'll be all right. I'm going to go back to bed after I get this thing fired up. I'm going to start up the smoker, take that brisket in, trim off some of the fat, get her seasoned up, get it started. Well, we've got a couple issues this morning. First of all, the brisket's not going to fit on my pan. It overhangs, both sides. That's what you get for getting a 13.5-pound brisket. So, I'm going to unwrap this thing. I'm going to cut it in half. We're still going to cook both halves. But for positioning purposes, we're going to cut it in half. This is going to be the first brisket I've ever had to trim. Most of the other ones that come are pretty well trimmed already. I'm going to show you the difference. All right, we've got our brisket cut in half. What we're looking at here is two different kinds of fat. So we've got the dogs. Oh, they're up early now too. Look at that. Oh, they said, Daddy, it's early. We smelled the meat. We smelled the smoker. We're excited. What's going on? Well, we're going to get the dogs outside quick, and we'll come back in and finish trimming this brisket. All right. So as I was saying, we've got two different kinds of fat. We've got the malleable, softer fats that are going to render down, and we've got, this is kind of half and half, right? So this is really hard. This is not going to render down quite so much. We're not going to get a lot of flavors and juices out of this. So we're going to trim this stuff off, and we're going to flip them over, and the same thing. And we're not going to cut all of this off. We're going to leave some of it on there, but see, this is more malleable. This is the stuff we're looking for. This stuff here is harder. We're taking this off right here. We've got our McCormick garlic salt, KC sweet from Cuisinart, as per usual, Famous Dave's steak and burger seasoning. We're going to top it with a little bit of fresh ground pepper. We're going to make sure we get both sides seasoned up here real good with everything. Alright, we're going to let that sit for about 15 minutes or so. We're going to go out and check on the smoker. It's too early for a Bloody Mary. Temperature set at 225, temperature's at 229. That means it just got up to temperature, so it'll come back down to that 225. It'll drop down when I open the lid too. We're going to open it up, throw that. What am I cooking? Yeah. Brisket, that's right. It's early. We're going to toss that brisket on there. We're going to let it sit for 4 hours before we touch it. We've got a little helper. She's very excited about this, aren't you? You don't get to eat it yet, Bella. I got to smoke it first. She thinks it's BS. All right, so we've got the other side seasoned already. ever wonder if you put enough seasoning on it, just know this. If your wife isn't at least a little upset that you made a mess all over her counter, you didn't use enough seasoning. Temperature's at 225. We're out at the Cuisinart. We're going to pop our little table up. We're going to throw this brisket on. Fat side up on the brisket. Brisket's on, fat side up. I need to set a timer. Alexa, set a timer for 4 hours. Perfect. Come back in 4 hours. We're gonna wrap this thing and turn the temperature up because I am not waiting 18 hours for this brisket. All right, what are we cooking? It's been in here for so long, I can't even remember. Brisket, that's right. We got a brisket on the smoker today. So it's been on there for 4.5 hours. About a half hour ago, I came out, set the temperature at 250. We're cranking this thing up a little bit. Oh man, is that looking good. So now it's time to wrap them. Put some aluminum foil over top of these, and then we're going to put them back on. We're going to leave them for about another 4 or 5 hours. All right, so we've got our pans, we've got our aluminum foil. Temperature set 250. Alexa, set a timer for 5 hours. We're going to check these in about another 5 hours, see how they are. We're going to leave them for another hour or so. That'll be fine. I've got plenty to do in the meantime. You guys have seen my aprons. Well, my mom thought that I needed another one, and this one came with a lot of attachments and pockets, and that's fantastic. So I want to say thanks, Mom, for the apron. And look, Mom, I'm on TV. All right, we'll be back in 5 hours. So our 5-hour timer went off. I checked this. This is gonna be fantastic. It's so tender already. We're gonna pull it off the smoker. We'll put it in a cooler. We're gonna let it rest for about an hour, hour and a half. It's gonna stay nice and warm in there. And I'm gonna do marble twice baked potatoes today. I'll walk you guys through that. If you guys have ever done a twice baked potato, a marble twice baked potato only has one extra step, and it just changes the game completely. So we're gonna do a couple of them. Let's check out this brisket. I've turned the temperature down to 200 degrees about 15 minutes ago. Let it kind of cool a little bit so I can touch this with my hands real quickly. Pull that off. You can see that layer of fat in there. Obviously this is just going to poke right through, but this meat underneath, see if I can lift that without ripping through it. Look at how easy that goes in there. That's going to be so tender. I'm going to grab the hot pads for pulling these off. You can throw a blanket or a towel over top of them if you want to keep the heat in. There's really no need putting it in a nice cooler like this, keeping them wrapped in aluminum foil. They're going to stay nice and warm, so we're going to leave them like that. And for any of you that were wondering, this beer pocket does hold more than just beer. I've been on rum for about the last hour and a half. The last part of this cook is going to be interesting. Alright, so the brisket's in the cooler. We're going to get our potatoes going. I got 4 russet potatoes, and I've got 1 sweet potato. I'm going to wash all these up. I'm going to get them on the grill. The russet's going to cook for about a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, and the sweet potato needs a little bit longer, about 15 minutes longer than you leave the russets on for. So we're going to get these washed up, throw them on the grill. So we're out at the grill. Potatoes are washed up. We're going to fire this bad boy up. Seeing as it's gas, it just kind of, you know, does its thing. We're going to throw it on somewhere around medium high. And we're going to put the potatoes on here. We're going to put them on not over the direct flame. We're going to put them right in between the burners. Alexa, set a timer for 35 minutes.
35 minutes, starting now.
We're going to let this sit. We're going to go play fetch with the dog and have some rum. All right, we got our potatoes off the grill. We're going to take these things, we're going to cut them in half and scoop them out, and we'll show you how to mix them up. So we're going to take the sweet potato and we're going to put that in a bowl separate by itself. We're going to take all the russet potatoes, we're going to gut them, put them in the bowl, and set the shells off to the sides. The sweet potato you don't need to save the shell for. The russets you definitely want to save because we're going to put them back in there to twice bake everything. We're going to take a little bit of butter, a little bit of top the tater. We're going to throw the butter, a little bit of butter, probably 3 tablespoons, in with our russet potatoes, and probably about the same amount of top the tater. In the sweet potato, we're going to put about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of butter. A little bit of salt and pepper in there. We're going to add some garlic salt, some salt and pepper into the russet potatoes. And then we're going to fold them together to put back in the shells. So our potatoes are all mixed up. We're going to grab some shredded cheddar cheese and we're going to put it in with the russet potatoes. We're also going to use a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese to top them off when we're done stuffing them back in the shells. Don't ever let anybody tell you how much cheese to use. Last thing we do, grab a spatula. I'm going to take this sweet potato, you don't want to mix it like you're mixing a cake. You want to fold it in there, so watch. That's all it really takes. You want to make sure you have a pretty clear definition between the sweet potato and the russet potato, and that's what makes them marbled and not just mixed potatoes. When you toss the potatoes on, you can throw them on the top rack. All you're really trying to do is get the cheese to melt. Should look something like that. So the taters are done. The brisket's been sitting in the cooler for about an hour, we'll call it an hour and a half. And I almost needed hot pads to pull this out. It's still warm. This is perfect. It smells delicious. The dogs are going crazy. But there's our brisket. So, I'm just going to trim some of this fat off to the side here. Oh, and that's got a lot of meat in it. We'll give that to the dogs. They'll love it. So, holy cow. That is so tender. I'm going to cut my slices against the grain, and I'm going to slice it all down, put it on the platter. We'll be ready to eat.
Wow, look how juicy that is.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's good. Sit. You were a very good guard dog. Thank you. Yes. We got mixed veggies, we got smoked brisket, and we got marbled twice baked potatoes. I'm going to go enjoy my dinner. If you guys followed along, I hope you enjoy yours too. Again, Bo's really excited. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the page.
By the way, if you need more time,
Alexa,
just,
I don't need more time. Thank you. Jeez, she's sassy.
this might answer
Stop!
your question. It's about
Alexa, stop. She talks almost as much as I do. Jesus Christ.
Sound won't be on there. Sounds gross.
Yeah.
Like, buck, buck, buck. That's on here.
I dropped some.
Hmm.